Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In today's episode, we preview Turtle Day at the Marine Science Center. And the county libraries have an abundance of financial advice during Money Smart Week. In Community Health Matters, we get some tips on kicking that smoking habit. Finally, joining Joanne Magley in the studio is Volusia County Fire Rescue's Chief Jeff Smith. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Get acquainted with endangered sea turtles and other marine life during the 14th annual Turtle Day event from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, April 23rd at the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. During this free event, attendees can meet glove-trained birds of prey and get their hands wet in a touch pool, which features cow-nose rays, stingrays, and hermit crabs.
Turtle Day is the Marine Science Center's biggest event of the year, and each year we host about 2,500 visitors that have a chance to see the whole Marine Science Center. So all of the Science Center is open, including our touch pool and all of the exhibits. But as a special treat, we have a wide variety of environmental organizations, people like the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge, the Canaveral National Seashore, the Halifax River Audubon Society, the Save the Manatee folks, many other organizations that join together and really celebrate all of the environmental work that's being done right here in Volusia County.
The event is sponsored by Ritter's Frozen Custard, Raymond James, Wayne's Solar, and the Friends of the Marine Science Center. The Marine Science Center is an environmental learning center providing rehabilitation for sick and injured sea turtles and sea birds. Visitors can learn about marine life in the center's exhibit hall, which includes a 1,400-gallon touch pool, a 5,000-gallon artificial reef aquarium, a living reef, octopus and moray eel exhibits, and a gift shop. They also can watch turtles and birds receive specialized care, visit habitats for bald eagles and wading birds, walk along the nature trail, and climb the observation tower. Since opening in 2002, the Marine Science Center has cared for more than 17,000 sea turtles and more than 1,300 gopher tortoises, freshwater turtles, and snakes. The Mary Keller Seabird Rehabilitation Facility at the Marine Science Center has received more than 13,000 birds since opening in 2004. For more information, you can call the Marine Science Center at 386-304-5545, or you can visit marinesciencecenter.com. You work hard for your money. Why not make your money work hard for you? Learn how to stretch your dollars during Money Smart Week, April 24th through the 30th at the Volusia County Public Library System. The county's 13 library branches will host more than 70 Money Smart programs ranging from story times for children to estate planning for adults. Financial advisors will share information about investments and identity theft, and a professional couponer will offer tips on maximizing your savings with coupons.
The whole concept behind Money Smart Week is to help consumers think about their financial health and the things that they can do to shore up their finances and make sure they're on a good financial path. We're offering programs really at every level, from our story times. We're incorporating something about saving your piggy bank. Sometimes the kids will make a little piggy bank, all the way to retirement planning. We're showing some movies that have a financial theme, just all kinds of different programs in the spirit of Money Smart Week.
Money Smart Week is a national public awareness campaign designed to help consumers better manage their personal finances. For a complete list of local library programs, you can visit volusia.org/moneysmart. The Robert Strickland Shooting Range will close for a routine lead removal for 10 days beginning April 22nd. The popular county-owned range, which opened in 2006, draws more than 20,000 gun enthusiasts each year. It attracts a wide variety of residents, including couples, retirees, veterans, hunters, and law enforcement officers. The range provides a covered firing line for handguns at 7, 15, and 25 yards. High-caliber rifles may be fired from 50 and 100 yards. Any caliber handgun or rifle may be used except for 50 caliber BMG rifles, shotguns, and fully automatic weapons. About a quarter of Americans say they personally own a gun. Nearly half of gun owners say they purchased the gun for protection, while 32% use guns primarily for hunting. Surprisingly, the fastest growing demographic of gun owners is women.
You know, everybody uses the range, young and old, and women and men out there both learning how to shoot a gun or just practicing. Twice a year, we have to shut the range down for approximately 10 days at a time, and we do this to remove or excavate the lead out of the berms. We try to schedule them so it does minimize the public's inconvenience, but it is something that's necessary. We do have to comply with environmental standards, and we want to still uphold best management practices on range management. And so what we do is we try to excavate that, and then we test the soil to make sure the pH of the soil is within safety parameters, and we're following best management practice from an environmental standpoint.
Annual pass holders will receive 10 extra days to compensate them for the closing. The shooting range's regular hours are 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Fees are $10 daily. Annual and semi-annual fee plans are also available.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Germ-free is more than just a health standard. It's also a local business. Let's join Joanne Magley to learn more in this week's Business Beat.
Tucked away in the Ormond Beach Business Park is Germ-Free Manufacturing Company. Germ-Free started in 1962, primarily producing equipment for hospital pharmacies. As the company grew, it expanded its product lines to include laboratory equipment for specialized labs and mobile and modular laboratories.
In Germ-Free, one of our main product areas is hospital pharmacy equipment. So we provide, if you've ever unfortunately had to visit someone in the hospital and they're hooked up to an IV, that IV bag is compounded or mixed in the hospital pharmacy. Well, they do that in front of a hood to make sure that the product remains sterile, and Germ-Free supplies about 35% of that market in the U.S. So really any hospital in any city, there's a 30% chance that they have a germ-free product.
Germ-Free also produces glove boxes for more sophisticated biocontainment labs. The glove boxes provide safe methods for managing infectious materials. Mobile labs are one of the products manufactured by Germ-Free. A unit like this has all the equipment needed for technicians to scan people for diseases. Germ-Free started manufacturing mobile labs for the U.S. Army, providing the capability of taking a full-scale laboratory into the field. Many of the early mobile labs were used for detecting chemical agents. Today, mobile labs are used for everything from environmental air monitoring to food testing to health screenings.
Right now we have a mobile lab that's going to Jordan, and the use in Jordan is the concern with all the refugees coming from Syria, and they're not certain as to what diseases they may be bringing in. So this mobile lab will be for health screening concerns.
Germ-free clients are primarily government, such as the Ministry of Defense or the Army, the Food and Drug Administration, or a university that wants to conduct research out in the field. Germ-free also produces modular labs, which have a lifespan of 30 to 40 years and are built according to stringent building codes, including seismic loads for earthquakes. Germ-free got into the modular lab business as a result of the evolution of its glove box contract with the U.S. Army.
From the glove box, the Army came back during the Desert Wars and said, hey, we like what you've done with the portable glove box, but now let's put it in the back of a Humvee. So from the back of a Humvee, we started providing larger labs for the U.S. Army. From the labs, the mobile labs, which is a truck or trailer that's designed to drive from day to day, we got into the modular lab. Modular labs are typically a lab that's put in place, and it's really part of the institution. It doesn't often move.
Exporting makes up 65% of Germ-free's business. Landy credits the county's Economic Development Division for helping expand his business to the global market.
Primarily, they've just opened doors from the local government to what's available from the state, as well as what's available from the federal guys in terms of helping small companies export.
Germ-free has 59 employees. 54 of those employees earn an average wage of $46,000 a year. The company also offers tuition reimbursement for employees that have a desire to get or finish a degree. And although Germ-free thinks very globally, Landy says the company is proud to be part of the Volusia County community.
We really like being in the Daytona area. We wanted, the management of Germ-free wanted to be in a smaller community, but still close to 2 international airports. And our clients from overseas really recognize the Daytona name. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm in Senegal. For example, in this past month, I've been to China, Senegal, and Spain, all for business, and everybody recognizes Daytona.
For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
Okay, so we drowned the fire,
Yep.
stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
More than 1.7 million Floridians want to quit smoking completely. The Florida Department of Health in Volusia County has free resources to help you quit smoking. Holly Smith has more in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Have you thought about kicking the habit, your smoking habit? Fortunately, Volusia County residents do not have to do it alone. The Florida Department of Health and the Tobacco-Free Florida program have no-cost and effective resources that can double a tobacco user's chances of quitting.
Smoking is horrible for your health, as we all know. 3 of the biggest things I'm going to talk about are it can increase your risk of cancer, heart attack, and stroke. And quitting can actually reduce your risk of heart attack in just 2 days. So it's very important to quit. If not for those reasons, there's many others.
There are plenty of reasons to give up tobacco. Consider this. If you lose the tobacco, you can gain up to 10 years in life expectancy. The health benefits of kicking the smoking habit begin almost immediately after your last cigarette, and they can continue for years if you quit for good.
Like the 7,000 chemicals and toxins that are in tobacco smoke. It's bad for the people that you love and your family members that are around you, and the list just goes on and on.
Quitting tobacco may be difficult. You've probably already thought about that, but it's not impossible. Consider this. There are more former smokers than current smokers in the state of Florida, so it can be done. All those former smokers are proof of that. And yes, some people who quit in the past may relapse. Quitting smoking may require several attempts. Just keep at it.
When you're looking to quit smoking, there's 3 things that you need. You need support, you need resources, and you need help. So basically the 3 easy ways to quit are you can go online, you can call, or you can go to in-person classes.
Tobacco-Free Florida offers 3 free, easy ways to quit. Call, click, or come in. Call the Florida Quit line at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to speak with a quit coach who will help you assess your addiction and help you create a personalized quit plan. Click. Tobacco-Free Florida's online cessation tool can be accessed at tobaccofreeflorida.com/webcoach. Or come in. Sign up for group classes at your local area health education center by calling 1-877-QUIT-IT-NOW or visiting www.ahectobacco.com. The number of cigarette smokers in Florida has reached an all-time low, yet too many residents struggle with tobacco's deadly addiction.
It's very important to quit smoking, obviously, like we said before, not only for the health benefits, but also it increases your life expectancy. In Florida, tobacco kills 88 people every day. I mean, that's huge.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. For as long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
Find 3 ways to quit at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
To learn more about Tobacco-Free Florida and the state's free quit resources, visit www.tobaccofreeflorida.com. For the Department of Health in Volusia County, I'm Holly Smith.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
It's time to go into the studio and join the Director of Community Information, Joanne Magley, and her guest is Chief Jeff Smith with Volusia County's Fire Rescue.
Thanks, Amber. Well, if you live in Volusia County, you may have seen smoke from recent wildfires. Spring and early summer are the most active times for wildfires here in Florida. So joining me today in the studio is Jeff Smith, the Fire Chief and Director of Volusia County Fire Rescue. Hi, Chief.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
So as I mentioned, we've had some fires last week. Give us an update on the current conditions.
Well, right now it's been pretty dry, and the wind conditions have given us a little bit of problems. We've had a little bit more fire activity than we have in the past years, so we're watching that, monitoring the weather and just being alert. Last week was Florida Wildfire Awareness Week, and as a matter of fact, we did have a pretty good brush fire the week before as a result of that and went through a red flag alert. So the weather has been causing some problems for us.
So we're not in a burn ban right now, but what would cause the county to be in a burn ban situation?
Well, typically as the weather continues to dry out and the drought index rises somewhere around 350 or 400, we start looking at instituting a burn ban. But there's other factors, the humidity, when the humidity is low, whenever the winds are very strong and don't let up throughout the day, that's something that we're going to look at. But overall, it's mostly the dryness of the environment.
And I know Volusia County Fire Services works with the city fire departments and the Florida Forest Service. Tell us about how that partnership works.
Well, we've actually gotten a lot better at that because of starting with the fires of '98 and then some of the other big fires that we've had. But we learned that if we train together and we communicated effectively with radio communications, familiarity would allow us to work better as a team. And that's what we've actually worked for. So many of us show up at the same place at the same time on these events. We've established relationships. The tactics are shared. Forestry is the lead agency, as you know, and then we fill in the cracks, if you will, and pick up what needs to be done with mop up and some of the other activities, structural protection and that type of thing.
You mentioned the 98 wildfires, which destroyed 58 homes in Volusia and Flagler counties. It forced the evacuation of the entire population of Flagler County. And we're not experiencing, we don't expect a repeat of those conditions or of that type of event because we've learned a lot, I guess, since then. But what should homeowners know to be prepared in case another wildfire happens around where they live?
Well, just like anything with emergency management, hurricane season, whatever, get a plan. They need to have a plan for evacuation. They need to have their items that they want to take with them easily accessible or stored in a place where they can pack up and leave quickly. Worry about their pets and things like that, but more importantly, prevention is the most important thing here, and that is making sure the vegetation is cleared away from the perimeter of a structure. If they live on the edge of a wildfire, or not a wildfire, but on the edge of the urban interface where there's woods that are up close, trim those back and make sure that there's a perimeter of defensible space that will give them the time that they need, and us, to come in and protect their structure. Trim away any overhanging limbs and clean out the gutters. Right now is a great time of year to do yard work. We've got the oak trees that have dropped the leaves. People are out there raking lawns. They need to get up on the roof and clear out their gutters and their eaves and the valleys of the roof and things like that. Limit any exposure that can cause a problem.
And something that might surprise people, or they might not be aware of, is that mulch, which looks very nice in yards, it's very flammable, and you recommend that people ditch the mulch and maybe replace it with some sort of decorative gravel?
Decorative gravel is always a good thing because it does prevent any kind of ember staying there for a while and then basically building up into a fire. We see that a lot with mulch fires, especially along medians and cities and things like that. People discard smoking materials, and maybe an hour or two later, all of a sudden the mulch is now burning, and it goes with the wind and it goes with whatever the drought indicators are. So if it's dry, that's a problem for us. So you're right, keep that mulch away from the house. If you are going to use mulch, you better be irrigating it and keeping it wet.
And there are certain activities that you recommend people really use caution when they're doing, like, for instance, cooking on the grill when it's really dry outside.
Most definitely. Any kind of grill activity where you're going to have grease or something that's dropping from the grill. We've seen that where it started a grass fire, spread to a structure. So as small of a situation as that is, it can grow. So they need to be very, very fire wise whenever we're in that kind of condition. But don't leave a grill unattended. Don't leave a fire burning like a campfire or something like that unattended. Make sure it's out and it's controlled, and just be, fire wise. Even with the torches that folks have now for mosquito control or insect control in the evening and things like that, you got to be very careful with that.
And there's also been cases of just a car, hot cars being parked on dry grass areas, lawnmowers that were just recently used being left in a dry area.
Most definitely. Catalytic converters from the cars in the old days, that was one thing. Now with diesel motors, and even in our business, we have to be aware of that because they'll reburn that product in there and reach 1,500 degrees temperature, which is, you got to be aware of that. You cannot park on dry grass or any kind of place like that where it could start to combust and then start a grass fire. Awareness is the most important thing, though.
And one more thing about something that's easily preventable. It's one thing to litter by throwing your cigarette butt out the window, but one cigarette could lead to a major fire.
Most definitely. We've had those on the corridor, the 415 corridor. There's been numerous fires that we've gone to down through there where folks have discarded smoking materials, and it's obvious that it started from a cigarette butt that went out. And you'll see people they're not thinking, they may not be aware of the drought conditions right now, and they don't think about it. And a lot of times human behavior is the biggest problem for us in the wildfire environment.
So Chief, what else do you want homeowners to know, whether it's about wildfire prevention or even just being fire-wise throughout the year?
It's just something that they need to practice and become educated on. Safe practices, awareness will keep the whole community safe and will limit the type of disaster that can come whenever the conditions are right. So I would say just pay attention to the weather. Make sure that you use safety as your guide on every outdoor event where you're using fire, and try to be as safe as possible. But most importantly, be attentive. Most important thing.
Okay, and your team offers community education, and I know you go out and talk to various groups.
We do.
Where can people get more information, and what are some of the topics that you go out and talk about?
Well, right now we're pushing the Ready, Set, Go program, which is a fire prevention in the wildland-urban interface. We've gone out to some of these neighborhoods that have been problematic in the past, and we've tried to address those in a preventative manner. But Volusia.org, click on Fire Rescue, and you'll see a whole bunch of available resources nationally and local about fire prevention, fire education, and things that you can do to make your environment safe. And then from there they can also connect over to Florida Forestry site, and there's some other information there available as well.
All right. Well, Chief Jeff Smith of Volusia County Fire Services, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome, Joanne. I appreciate it.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you too for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond. Have a wonderful evening.